Hi, everyone, and welcome to TWF Dynamite or Mite. I'm Michael Cole, Tony Schiavone. I'm Michael Cole with Tony Schiavone and Clarence Mason here. And today on Dynamite or Mite, as you know, Taz is no longer on the play-by-play team again. AEW took him off, so TWF has to, take him off too. Michael Cole says. But we are going to have a good show here today on Dynamite or Mite. Yes, we are, Tony Schiavone says. It's going to be a good show here today, Michael. Yesterday on NXT, we saw Four and Gomford wrestle it off, and then Gomford beat Four again and hit him with his own hammer, Tony Schiavone says. Yeah, we saw that happen, Tony, Michael Cole says. We saw that happen, Gomford hitting Four with his own hammer after the match was over yesterday on NXT. I'll tell you right now, Michael and Tony, I don't get or understand Four's deal. But if I don't understand or get Four's deal, why is he making a big deal about getting hit in the head with a hammer? I mean, it's a toy hammer. It's not like it's a true weapon, It isn't like he can make a law work out of it or get someone, put in lockup for it or something. Clarence Mason says, well, we're going to bring out Gomford now. We're going to bring out Gomford now, who's going to come to the ring now, Michael Cole says. And then you can be the doomsman on that one and see if he needs to lawyer up or anything on anything he says. So, it seems a lot of folks are making a big deal about what I did to Four yesterday on NXT. How I beat the fake god of Thunder. He came from 5 and below. And I can tell you right now, I don't care about him. Four dared me to have a hammer match yesterday on NXT. Well, I'm here today on Dynamite or Mite to say, I take you up on your deal, on your dare. So if you want to come out here, Four, so I can beat you again, then by all means do it. Because I beat a Marvel Glee, Walt Disney business, North Folklore self, Four. And I did it because I am Gomford, the ring fighter. And no one will ever beat me. Is that right, Gomford? You taking me up on your hammer match, right? Well, you keep in mind that I'm the one with the mighty hammer. Not you, Four. Not you, Gomford. You like to hit me from behind, hit me with my hammer after my match. Well, guess what? Here today, Gomford, I'm going to be hitting you with my hammer. Because I talked it out with Astronema, the overseer of leadership at the TWF, and John Bradshaw Latefield, the main overseer of the TWF, and they say I can do it. Yes, you can do it, Astronema says. I will give that to you. So, here today, we're going to see Four, the North God of Thunder, take on Gomford in a hammer match. And do you want to know what that means? It means anyone who gets the hammer can then, it means that it's lawful for Four to hit you with the hammer in this match, Gomford. And you can bitch and rant and scave about how skilled wrestling or sports glee or whatever you want to call it should be onlooked. But unless you want to give onlook, unless you want to get onlook, you got to give onlook, Astronema says. Annie Clifter says, Ecliptor says, onlook goes both ways, Gumford. You gotta give onlook to get onlook. And yes, being a former WWE NXT UK fighter, and a former WWE Interland Body fighter, and being the World Heavyweight fighter, that's cool and all, but unless you give onlook, you're not gonna get onlook for it. Astronomer, you can't do this. You can't put me in a ring with a fake god. You can't put me in the ring with the fake North God of Thunder. I did, Gumford. You're just gonna have to deal with it. Well, now the Fight Lord's in the ring now, Michael Cole says, and if Gumford is this mighty fighter, this mighty wrestler that he says he is, it should not be a big deal, Michael Cole says. Well, Tony Schiavone says, Gumford getting hit right now by the hammer by 4. The hammer is lawful in the match. How can it be lawful in the match? How can Astronomer make it a hammer match? 4 doesn't have a hammer. He doesn't have any other weapon he can strike someone with. Is Gumford supposed to put up with this? Clarence Mason says. Sometimes in life you just gotta deal with things. Michael Cole said there's a lot of things that happen in the world that a lot of folks just have no might or sway over. You know, you got Vladimir Putin wanting Russialand to be an overmight again, and that's never going to happen. You know, you got Jun Kim bitching about how he wants to get even with the 4-1 Reichs and South Korea land. He never is. You got Ali Nobanabi wanting Uranus land to have on look, but that's never going to happen. You know, that's like too bad. If Gumford doesn't like it, then maybe he shouldn't have been hitting 4 with the hammer, Michael Cole says. 4, the North God of Thunder from Northern folklore, who is also a Walt Disney business Marvel Glee self. Tony Schiavone said, is there reckonings outs or throwouts in this match? Well, Gumford is in a bit of bind right now with 4 back. Oh, Gumford just knocked 4 down. And 4 couldn't see. Gumford is taking his hammer. Oh! Gumford just hit 4 with his hammer. Tony Schiavone says. Yeah, the hammer is lawful in the match, like you said, Clarence Mason says. That means that Gumford can do what he wants to do with the hammer, and there'll be no throw out or no reckoning out. And now Gumford's got the hammer again. He's hitting 4 and knocking him down with it. Oh! 4 is getting beat up by his own hammer, Michael Cole says. How shameful. Well, I mean, this is sickening, Tony Schiavone says. And now he's got him in the sleeper. Is 4 going to kick out? Will Gumford beat 4 once again here today on Dynamite or Mike? Tony Schiavone says. Well, Clarence Mason said only time will tell if that will happen or not. If 4 is the mighty God of Thunder or the fake God that we all know there's only one true God, and that is God Almighty. But anyway, 4 is going to get beat by Gumford either way. And oh, ding, ding, ding. Oh, here is your winner of the hammer match, Gumford. And Gumford right now, it's holy shit, Gumford's not done with him. I'm sorry, God, and I'm sorry, God. I'm sorry, Jesus, for saying that. Forgive me. You know. But anyway, 4 has just gotten beat up. You know, 4's got beat up by Gumford and then thrown out of the ring. And 4 lost his match here today on Dynamite with Mike. he lost a hammer match, which you would believe would be up to 4 Spaniards, since it was 4's own hammer that he has, Michael Cole says. I'll tell you one thing right now, Tony Schiavone said. 4 came into this match believing that he had that he could beat Gumford, that he had the upper hand, and somehow, some way, Gumford ended up winning. Not that he's a greater wrestler, or not that he's a mighty wrestler, a mighty fighter, or a mighty overstar, because he just took the upper hand on the oversight, or the lack of oversight, in this match, Tony Schiavone said. I tell you right now, Michael and Tony, the only oversight in the match was you can work the hammer. If 4 could work the hammer on Gumford, then Gumford could work the hammer on 4. It's only fair, you know. Well, we know one thing, that 4 and Gumford most likely are not going to be, done. This war or wrong between 4 and Gumford is going to be far from over, Michael Cole says. You got that right, Tony Schiavone said. This war, this wrong between Gumford and 4, it's not going to be over. Take it away, Mike, today. Thank you, Tony Schiavone and Michael Cole. Thank you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with Gumford here today on Dynamite, or Mike. Alright, Gumford, you call yourself the ring leader, or the ring fighter, but once again, somehow you beat 4. You want to know how I beat 4, Mike, today? You were nothing more than WCW and TNA's answer to Jim Ross. First off, I beat him because I am a wrestler. Alright? Not an overstar. But WWE calls their wrestlers overstars, so whatever. I bring earnest. I make skilled wrestling earnest. The wrestling ring should be onlooked. And I'm not going to have some fake god for a Walt Disney Marvel Glee self, nor folklore self, be in the same wrestling ring with me. Well, if you didn't like wrestling with folks from folklore or bookcraft or films or shows or plays or film games or whatever, then you shouldn't have been in the toy wrestling gathering. No, they should bring me more earnest wrestlers. You know, I keep beating 4. It's not even funny, Mike, today. I beat 4. So who's next? What? That weakling, lazy wrestler Roman Reigns? I already beat him my first match here in the toy wrestling gathering last week. Alright? And do you think that you always ask folks to give you onlook, Gumford, but you don't want to give anyone else onlook? Everyone else should onlook me. Why should I have to give them onlook? Well, that's my talk with Gumford. Back to you, Michael Cole and Tony Schiavone. Well, thank you, Mike, today for talking with Gumford here today on Dynamite or Mike. And that's all the time we got here for Dynamite or Mike. I, Michael Cole, with Tony Schiavone and Clarence Mason. We hope you like Dynamite or Mike. And we'll see you tomorrow for Impact or Hit.